I'm white. I play Fox,
Whoa.
and my roommate eats ass.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a special one-off version of the Bad Melee podcast. I'm here with a new crew because it just seems like people can't stand to be around me. Maybe that's what it is.
He likes to rotate out once a month.
I can't hold down a crew like I used to when I was back on the streets in the gang. So I got a couple new boys here. I have Neeper.
What's up, buddy?
He is in the actual room with me. I'm looking at his face.
Staring him in the eyes. He's not
Neeper,
making eye contact with me.
who are you?
I'm Garrett Neeper from Bakersfield, California.
Wow.
Small little big town.
Wow.
Fascinating, absolutely.
That is all.
That's it, dude. That's all
dude.
he's got to his name, dude. Neeper plays Fox, and he's from the area, and he's a cool guy. And we're also here blooped in from the satellite feed from a patched-in Russian satellite.
Headquarters.
It is Zeke, a.k.a. Indy, a.k.a. the King Quiggles Slayer, a.k.a.
King Quiggles.
What was his name? Pigeon Master?
Wait, who are you talking about?
The next guy?
Oh, Bean Wolf.
Bean Wolf? What? Yeah, I fucked that up.
You were close. Yeah.
Bean Wolf Slayer, King Quiggle Slayer, Slime Slayer, even though, I hadn't even touched a controller all that day until we played, but whatever.
Totally wasn't warmed up.
And legend, really. You made it out of pools at Big House.
I did. It was very fraudulent. I do believe I got probably the easiest path to winners finals in my bracket as possible.
Yes.
Where I get destroyed by Axe. That guy is not only good, but he knows a thing or two about edge guarding Marth. Very, very lamely.
Not only good, but great.
But
just
very gimmicky.
I also have
Yes.
experience with Axe because he four-stocked me on stream. And Lovage told me, "Come on, Slime, I want to see some back airs." That's
Now you know.
So yeah, did you get Big House sickness?
I did not. I've actually, of the 3 nationals I've gone to, I have come back not only not sick, but my immune system is probably stronger than ever.
That's great. I have just like nerd viruses just rampaging through my body right now, and I just can't.
No, the way that I like to look at it is like weeklies are pretty much like Rocky, like training in the frozen meat locker, and then you go to nationals. You have like Drago's like Russian high level, like you put your immune system through the ringer, and if you beat it, you come out stronger than ever.
Right.
But if not, you Apollo Creed yourself.
Yeah.
It's like when you're young and like licking the ground is like totally fine to do because you're just sort of building up your immune system. For
Yeah, it's all fucking going nuts. So I licked the ground a lot when I was a kid. I'll say that much. Your bracket had Falcos.
It started off with a Falcon player who admittedly should have beat me, not because he was good, but because I literally would like up throw him and just let him hit the ground, and that was the end of my punish.
Nice. Get up, brother. Go and try again.
But I miraculously pulled that 2-0 out of my ass, and then I went on to face Beanwolf, the Sheik from Pittsburgh, or as his Pittsburgh transplants to Colorado, or not Pittsburgh, Ohio, Pat Cake and Kitty MW, both former residents of Ohio who now live in Colorado. Call him Beanbag Chair because he is a very round man.
Okay, and see, now, Zeke was very nice and cordial to this man until he overheard him, right, talking about you.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is like my entire pool, I was like, yeah, I mean, these players, you can't go in there with the mentality of like sleeping on anyone because then you lose. But these players, to my face, they were like, "Oh, your Marth is so like average." And then behind my back, unbeknownst to Beanwolf, my double agent Pat Cake asked him, "Hey, Beanwolf, how did your pools go?" And he goes, oh, I fucking lost to some nobody scrub Marth. All I did was forward smash. and so I spent the entire third day with a vendetta searching for Beanwolf to like money match him for all the money in my wallet.
Just like roasting him like on the side of like we just be like, oh hey, there's a plup or something. Yeah, it's like I wonder how we can even see him with Beanwolf rolling around this place. Like,
Jesus Christ. I told myself I would find him via echolocation, where I would just put my ear to the ground and just find out where the booming footsteps were.
Did you ever find him?
No, I found him at like the last 30 minutes of the day before he left. Everyone was in the lobby. Everyone was pretty trashed, and there he was.
There he was.
That's when you pull out the fucking CRT and you say it's on. It's on.
Yeah, but before that, he was being so nice. But that once he found out he talked shit, it was just like the roast guard, like Hannibal Lecter, like the mouthpiece just came off, and it was very nice.
I tried to be so cordial to both those guys, and like to be fair, I had more room to like talk shit on them than they did, like vice versa. Because I was the one who won the set. I was the one who made it out of pools.
Yeah, you're the one that can say, yeah, I just beat on some nobodies that sucked. But yeah,
I literally double 3-stocked Beanwolf, and he's like, some fucking nobody, Marth. That character's gay.
He's like, yeah, you're kind of making fun of yourself there, my friend.
And then the same thing had the repeat performance with the legend King Quiggles from Ontario, Canada, not California.
He was the one who knocked me out. Now, a thing about King Quiggles is there's like a scouting thread on Reddit. And someone was like, does anyone know about King Quiggles? And some dude was like, yeah, he's from my area. He's an alright Falco. He throws out a lot of F smashes, so make sure not to get caught by that. That's literally how he destroyed me from bracket. It was just like F smashing. Not in a bad way, but it was just like, I wish I had read that man's comment. And like, it's also like, if that's what people say about you, like, even on the internet, like, oh yeah, that guy, he's defined by this characteristic, which is F smashing. Like, man, that's a bad look, especially for me, because I'm the one who lost. So, but
that's what made me feel bad, because I went out. I did not see that thread initially, but I went back and revisited it after you told me about it, and it was like, Indy is a okay Marth to look out for, also a super homie. And then I checked who it was, and it was Reach from Kansas, who I housed for Revelation, the national. Or not the national. I guess it was just like a regional in Colorado. So I think he didn't think that on his own accord, but literally because I gave him a place to sleep, he was like, yeah, I guess I could put in a good word for this guy. And then the response to that was from Downtown Sasquatch, a.k.a. Anthony Bruno himself, that said, Indy is a fuckboy, no one likes him.
Yeah, no, I was doing...
Those are my two connotations on the internet.
I was trying to do work for you, dude. I was trying to get people in the mindset that, like, oh, he's just, confirmed fuckboy. Easy money.
I just have double agents everywhere, dude.
But yeah, so I don't know. Big House was cool. Like, I don't know. Neeper, what did you do during the weekend? You didn't go.
What day did it start?
Was Thursday? Friday.
I don't know. I just fucking.
Did you watch pools? Did you do anything?
I watched you play. I didn't watch too much of pools.
Did you watch me on stream?
Yeah, I've watched. I was in the gym with Stud when I watched your match.
Okay.
And we watched the first game, and then we were like,
let's get back to working out, dude. Let's forget about this.
I saw the sick little hedgehog that you had. That was.
You were like, that's my boy.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's the only thing that's gonna get it.
It's true.
Proceeded to get Fort Stock the next game.
Exactly how it went. Well, I did it for Pepis. Pepis, by the way, for those who don't know, is my new esports sponsor. They've really carried me a long way. They paid for my trip to Big House. They've housed me. They pay me a decent salary of about $4,000 a week. So shout outs to my sponsor, Pepis. Go ahead and follow them at Pepis Esports on Twitter. They got about 72 followers, so if you could help them out there.
I'm not sure why they're paying him that much. It's at a huge loss.
Yeah, I don't know. They got a lot of VC money, and I don't even practice. I don't even care about this game. So that's pretty cool.
I just picked up this game like last year. I don't know.
But yeah, so okay, how about this? Since me and Zeke were both there, we obviously have like some interactions and stories and stuff. But from watching the stream and just sort of imagining what the Big House was like, do you have any questions maybe we could answer to you?
Oh man, from day one, it just looked like probably the best tournament that I've ever seen run, for sure.
It was cool.
Everything looked like it ran on time. Production value was extremely high. It did kind of fall off days on, as it went on, but I kind of want to go.
Well, that's not a question.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Was it worth it? Yeah, yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, it was. I played a lot of friendlies till like 6 a.m. in like the infinite friendly room, and it like reminded me of being an alcoholic. Like, oh yeah, I'll just do this for as long as my body physically allows, and then I'll go to bed and sleep till 3 p.m.
Yeah, high on melee.
So that was pretty cool.
I heard they had like the little ranking system. Like
They had net play in real life. So you would just queue up for a game and then wait around. The queue got really long actually, but then they'd call your match and you go play someone and you'd rank up or down if you won or lost. And
how'd you do in that?
Fuck, dude, I didn't crack rookie. Rookie's
Really?
the second rank. I didn't crack it.
Video Waffles got pro.
I know, he's a god. Indy, you got pro too, yeah?
Yeah.
See, I'm just bad, dude.
I did not get
You got fucked up that weekend, didn't you?
You didn't get your shit because you had there's like rank brackets, and which one you landed in or achieved, you get a prize. But you didn't get your prize.
No, because I had done it as they were like shutting the entire thing down, and I didn't want to be that guy's like, hey, can I get my
give me my
Smash?
give me
Please,
my
I'm pro
fucking
now.
water bottle, dude, right now, dude.
Speaking of water bottles,
Oh yeah,
it is proudly to my right. I've been drinking from it as a trophy, a monument of sorts.
you drunkenly stole Mike Hayes' Smash GG water bottle.
It was sick. He let me fondle him.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, what?
It's on my Twitter if anyone cares to see.
Oh, I saw that picture.
Net play
How I
IRL.
did not get my- how I
That's
did
a
not get my
terrible
shirt.
name, honestly.
What's that?
A terrible Netplay IRL.
Yeah, well, that's not what it was called.
Well, in real life.
No, it was
That's
like
what-
It was called Smash
Take the
Ladder.
house or something?
Yeah,
Own the house.
own the house.
Oh, okay. That's what I was
Because-
told like twice. It was called Netplay in real life.
Yeah, that's what we called it flippantly because that's what it literally was.
And just my 2 cents on the matter was that like in an ideal world, it's an incredible idea for all the people who like didn't make it to day 2 or onward. But as someone who was competing in day 2, desperately trying to find a peach to practice for my round 1, who ended up not being that good anyways, literally every TV in the friendlies room was taken for net play.
Yeah, you couldn't really get games in.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
That was a pain in the ass.
For Evo, Evo had the redeeming qualities of being in fucking Las Vegas, right?
Pretty much, I would say like the only one besides
Yeah.
just being a big tournament.
Yeah,
but
just going to Evo and then like seeing all this stuff. Like, there's not really much else other than just going to Las Vegas. And how was Michigan? When I think of Michigan,
I didn't leave the hotel, honestly.
Jesus.
There was apparently a mall that I discovered later on that was across the street from the venue. But I didn't leave the venue. It was actually really degenerate, like just playing Melee and being weird and stuff. And I got the goddamn big house sickness, dude. I shouldn't have eaten Wizzy's ass. Now I look back on it, it was a mistake.
It was just such a nice transit. You saw so much of the like poverty gap on your way from the airport, which is like in the heart of Detroit, to Dearborn, which is like the outskirts, more uppity part from like what I saw.
Yeah.
Because our Uber driver's name was Joe Mel, the homie, who did not have room in his trunk for our suitcases, our 2 suitcases, not even that many, 2 suitcases because his subwoofer was taking up a massive amount of space, but we somehow Tetrised our way in there. And on our way to the hotel, he just drops off. He's like, damn, this is a nice hotel. And he probably expects us to tip him like a large amount, but just before that, we had learned that you're not supposed to tip Uber drivers. So he walks away with a fatty 0.
Ooh.
And he probably thought we were just assholes, which
Sorry, Joe
to be
Mel.
honest, like we kind of were. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that Uber's an
Joe Mel's
asshole
doing just
app.
Fine. He's driving a Chrysler 200. He got a subwoofer. He knows what he wants.
Dude,
He's got
our
goals.
Uber driver, because we drove to the grocery store, he was saying how he rents the car, and then if he gets a certain amount of rides, Uber or Lyft pays for it. So maybe it wasn't even Joe Mel's. Poor dude is just struggling in the world, and here you are. You don't even actually.
Like,
if there were subwoofers in it, it's probably his car. So never mind.
No, that's the part that leads me to believe it's not. Like he seemed like he was caught on like off guard by opening the trunk, and he was just like,
what shit?
Like, how am I gonna put these in there? I completely forgot I had a subwoofer.
What? Yeah, it's cool because you get to drive by and just see the death of American manufacturing and the sort of slow, croaking society as Michigan knew it. So that's pretty cool. I was into that. but you didn't get to see much
Yeah,
of
it was
it.
like history before my eyes.
It
It was pretty
was
crazy.
only to and fro.
Yeah.
Okay, Indy. Okay, so Zeke is from Colorado, and I actually didn't even know him while I lived there. But we started sexting later on after I moved to California.
You and Zeke?
Yeah,
Nice.
just
Well,
like
we both downloaded this app that shows you the same girls that you've swiped right on for Tinder.
yes.
And we realized we just had a ton of mutual interests, so we just began chatting it up, and it's all history from there.
It's all So, from the Colorado scene, you guys have heard a lot about it on this podcast. But Indy actually has some nitty gritty stories, like some juicy shit from his adventures. He even runs the weekly every now and then, right? Or used to when to fill in and stuff.
when it was
So.
in Aurora.
So there's one particular story that I really liked. If you could regale us with this one.
Okay, so there's this kind of I want to say he's a person, but at this point he's more of just like an icon in the Colorado Smash scene. Notorious just for being instantaneously banned from like most people's friends lists after like 1 or 2 encounters.
Oh my god.
And the worst part is, like, when you first meet him, everyone tells you about how bad he is, and you want to believe in the guy so bad, so you vouch for him. You're like, yeah, I mean, this is bad, but it's not that bad. And there was a tournament in December, so I want to say like 8 or 9 months ago, if that's how calendars work.
I don't know. You're
I forget
asking
what
the
it's called,
wrong
Seasons
dude.
Beatings 2 or something. And we have at the time he was 16 years old, and he's like pretty well known for just being like an asshole, like a 16-year-old. You know, he maintains picture 16-year-old, hat backwards, long hair, plays the ice climbers, and that's literally like
That's the worst human being I can imagine.
So the TO Josh, who's like pretty much the primary TO for the Colorado Weeklies now, he seeds the pool, he's in charge of everything, and he intentionally seeds it so that the 16-year-old wobbler faces off against like the rage icon in Colorado Smash.
Oh, thank
God. So it starts game 1. Icy's Marth, the rage guy, the very angry human being. He's a Marth player. Just does the worst fair on Ice Climber Shield I've ever seen in my life. Like, he literally dash dances back and forth as they're shielding for like 2 seconds, thinking about, should I go in with a fair?
How am I going to get him?
Yeah, decides that that's the correct option. Just poorly spaced like there in front of Popo and Nana, and grabs him and proceeds to get wobbled. And after like the first 4 or 5 hits of the wobble, he just slaps the controller out of the other guy's hands.
Oh my god.
And everyone's just like, whoa. And so like everyone's just like, hey, like forfeit a stock, you know, don't be an asshole. So he runs off the stage and then takes a deep breath while he's on the heaven platform, composing himself. He's like, all right, no more poorly spaced fairs on shield. So he drops down, and rather than fairing, he just forward smashes the ever-loving Christ out of both shields and then gets grabbed again. And then as he's getting wobbled, this time he like he fucking like gives him a gentle push. Like, so at this point the Ice Climbers player is still at 0. And so he pushes him like almost to the point where it makes him drop the wobble or whatever, but it's still like physically putting your hands on someone.
Right, and does he, I mean, he has like a mean look in his face. You say it's a gentle push, but like he's like trying to...
And the worst part is he's like pretty muscular. Like he wrestled and did football in high school, and he's like 6, maybe like 5'10", 5'11", so like on the bigger side.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a 16-year-old kid. Like if you look at him, he looks like a baby with long hair, just learning how to play Ice Climbers. And so I can only imagine what's going through his like. I was surprised he did not drop the wobble. So shout outs to him for having the mental fortitude to keep mashing that A button.
That's what a wobbler needs. No matter what the fuck's going on, like rain, hail, controllers being thrown at your head, the apocalypse, you're hitting that young BPM.
How do you rage that hard and not be dead? How do you drive around in everyday day-to-day life?
Right? Like, what happens? What happens in a roundabout? Like, and he doesn't get in when he wants to. Like, and he's
that's what we're all saying. Like, imagine if something genuinely bad happened to this guy. Like, he's getting wobbled in a video game that he's honestly like not very good at. Imagine if like he woke up and his job was like, yeah, you're laid off. Like, what would he fucking do?
Right?
He would go off. He just destroy the premise, go in there, maybe guns ablaze,
burn it down. Yeah.
yeah. So game 1 finishes. He gets like JV4'd or whatever. Super mad. Game 2 starts instantly, and he just I don't know why he didn't. He went to FD. I'm telling you.
Let me ask you. Were you watching this set because you knew some shit was going to go down?
Yeah. After everyone was crowding around this TV. Literally after people were like, "Yo, did you hear what just happened?" Everyone crowded around the TV, just ready for like an explosion. And so game 1 starts off. Instant wobble, down tilts on shield, and like I'm actually impressed that the Ice Climbers player like had enough tech skill to like wave dash and grab it as a punish. It blew my mind. I was like, I've never seen this before. So as the wobble goes on, he pushes him harder this time, and he like falls out of his chair, and then just unplugs his controller and slams it on the ground, thus forfeiting the match. And it's a hot 2-0 to my boy Young Icy's player. But somehow he fights his way back through losers. This driven Marth player fights his way back through losers, where he faces
the
Icy's player.
Oh,
again.
yes.
And this time it's like more on the line. Like loser does not make it out of pools, winner does. And like I've never seen someone F smash so successfully in there. Like he literally F smashed, and then when the Ice Climber player was trying to punish it, he would F smash again.
Oh yeah,
and, like
you just
kill the Ice Climber.
Do it one more time.
Yeah, he just let him fly. He's like, I found the fucking algorithm. Like, the GIF of Zach Galifianakis when the numbers are flying around his face?
Yeah.
That's only what I could imagine, like, what was going through his mind. Like, as soon as the second F smash hit and you hear, like, the suddenly everything went right for him, and he was just like, oh, fuck. And so it's like game 3, last hit, last stock. They're both playing, like, awful. Like, the Ice Climbers player's down to Sopo. He's just wave dashing, down smashing, and, like, the Marth player's just wave dash back forward smashing. And it's just like, a true battle of wit, like what the designers wanted for me. Like,
right, yeah.
This is chess incarnate. And the Marth player lands the forward, like the most miraculous forward. I think it happened because of a stage transformation on Pokemon Stadium, where like the rock was popping up and it moved the Popo in place, like for the tipper. And he like ecstatically unplugs his controller and stands on top of his chair very cringingly, and just like puts his arms out. I'm sure you're picturing this in your head. Puts his arms out and just shouts, "Revenge is sweet" at the top of his lungs, and everyone just like winces.
Just groans.
It was big. And the worst part was, once he made it to bracket, he went 0-2. And no one expected like anything less.
Wait. Back to the first game. Didn't he, when he slapped the controller out of his hand, he told him...
Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot. Yeah. So after the first slap, everyone's like, he pauses the game so that he could pick it back up. But then, like, as he's picking it up, he goes, "Pick it up." And so everyone's just like standing around. And the worst part is no one wants to intervene because this guy could probably handle at least 10 of us. Because I don't like to diagnose people, But
right.
There's obviously something, mentally.
There's a cog that's just kind of off.
That's just kind of like squeaking by. Like it tries to turn, and every now and then it'll get the right rotation, but for the most part, it's just chilling.
Was it pure fear that he wasn't banned immediately after smashing the controller out of his hand?
That's a good question. Is this just like par for the course? Like, is this happening in like a Melee? SoCal? Like, if this happened at like SSS, people like, yo, you can't do that. Like, this is your warning. But that's pretty fucked up.
No, so that's the thing is like everyone wants to tell him something, and everyone does.
They're like, hey, man, you probably shouldn't fucking do that. Like, trying to be like non-confrontational.
Like, I'm not an expert. That was an okay game, but like, come on, as far as like pushing someone out of their seats and fucking bullying a 16-year-old, you might be almost borderline not doing something good. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. And then like it all hits him afterwards. Like I only imagine it when you're in like a drunken rage, and then you take a deep breath, and then look at all the destruction you caused, and you're like, what have I done? That's not only every tournament, but that's like every bracket match that he has.
So he's not totally stupid. Like, he can take a step back and realize that he's angry.
Oh yeah, in the heat of the moment, he might actually be like an ape,
like just snap someone's neck like a bunny.
Full primal rage.
And so we all talked to him afterwards, but like in the heat of the moment, when he was slapping the controller, we're like, yeah, I mean, fuck it, you hold your controller that close to that man's gonna get slapped. You're defending him.
It's like, well, next
God. But I mean, everyone's kind of Bobby Frizz is like renowned for like this being his least favorite person in Colorado. And the worst part is this guy travels a lot to like the surrounding states. So he's at like most Kansas tournaments, almost every Nebraska tournament I've been to, he's been there. And as you can imagine, Bobby Frizz being number one in Kansas goes to a ton of these, and he goes out of his way to cheer against like Bobby. So I wish that we had a better representation of a guy who just drives 250 miles to like scream at someone. But as of right now, that's
your
our
ambassador.
He's the one we send to tell people about the glory of Colorado.
Like, yeah, don't go to Colorado, dude. That guy, he just fucking, he'll just like hit you.
Colorado is like, they're like God, and then he's our Moses, and we're sending him to tell people about the land of milk and honey. And it's like, instead of Moses being like, follow me, he's like, fuck everyone is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, this
You're a dumb bastard. Kill yourself, and then just leave.
Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, God said that, not me. Trust me. So everyone's just like, they're scared to come to Colorado. They're just like, is this what everyone's like? So that's the moral of that story, is that guy's got a reputation. And I think that's why, like, you know, Justin's gotten so good, Cyrox, is because he's been avoiding all of that for so long.
Yeah, he's just played on the internet.
Yeah, he's a net play monster, lives like 2 hours away from any sort of even remotely close competition to him. But, I mean, he's fucking number one by a wide stretch. In Colorado.
Imagine the alternate universe where Cyrox isn't a net play master and goes to all this stuff, and maybe he becomes as good as he is, but like he'll be like, yeah, man, check this out, and lifts up his shirt, and there's just like a stab scar, like, yeah, this is when I fucking when I went up against that Marth, and he's just fucking.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, in an alternate universe, because Justin's not much older than the 16-year-old Ice Climbers player. He was the 16-year-old who was getting the controller slapped out of his hand.
Yeah.
And just as a result, never touched Melee ever again.
Right? Like, and then top 25 at Evo goes to Indy. What a world.
Oh, please, I want to live in that world. I did make a top 200. I made 192nd, which in reality means I was like top 275, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's not what we tell the ladies.
No, the ladies, for all you're concerned, you're in that top 200, baby. Woo!
Yeah, there we go. That's that top 10 percentile.
Yeah, also, Zeke came with his girlfriend who also plays Melee, and we actually both got to watch her constantly be hit on by Smasher after Smasher.
Oh, no.
Which was...
It was incredible. I've heard stories because she has, you know, when you guys did the episode about like the cringy girl comments.
Yeah, she DM'd Keely with a lot of her stories, which were also very cool.
Yeah, they were my inspiration, to be honest. I was like, all right, what material's been used and what hasn't? And I had to work my way around that. But it was like Anthony and I would always stand in the vicinity, but not directly next to her, so that like people wouldn't associate us together. But she participated in the Smash Sisters crew battle. I think ironically, but it became unironically as she became part of a lifelong friendship of many of the finest women smashers
the scene has ever seen.
Yeah. But like we would just watch people come up, and this guy just like he had water in his hand. He was prepping for this. Like he was in the corner with
he was hydrated.
Like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And they were all hyping him up. They're like, yeah, go do it. Go fucking talk to her. And he would walk up. He's like, hey, I saw your Ganon. All right, see ya. And then he walked away. And that was 90% of the encounters that she had.
They were very like forced. I mean, I guess they got it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and the worst part is that's like a blow to my self-esteem. Because I'm like, oh, she didn't settle. Like, there's a bunch of different guys who like, you know, would love to beat you. But it's like, if this is my competition, I'm not really a cut above the rest as I like to think I am. I'm right there in the same tier.
Yeah.
At any given moment, I could have been the I've seen your Ganon guy.
Yeah, we all could have been, you know, in some way to some other girl, and that's the scariest part, is we see in ourselves the failures that others lay at our feet.
You can just do what I do and don't approach a girl for 2 years and never talk to one ever.
Oh,
yeah. That's the Neep. I go to school, and I don't talk to girls at all, and they walk by me and they don't look at me.
Neeper is very strange because in my opinion, he's a very handsome man. And he's tall and he's strong. We call him Strong King Neep. And but he's just kind of afraid of girls. For instance, he actually met a girl on Counter-Strike who met up with him in the real life. How many fucking people has that happened to?
Okay, here's the difference. I can talk to people like normally and like just fine, like once I get to know them and introduce myself, but it's the whole aspect of like I don't know you and I have to say something to you, even if it's a guy or a girl.
It's the putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's putting myself out there to say something. I will spend an entire class period saying or like thinking to myself,
okay,
I should say hi to like the guy next to me. What should I say? Like, what should I do?
Right.
And I think about it the entire time.
And then, like, you're so deep in, like, the train of thought, you're just like, hey, isn't it cool, like, how time is a flat circle? I'm like holy shit.
Well, you could have been worse. There was the case of the guy at Big House, if you want to tell that story.
The guy at Big House was so funny. It was right after SFAT beat Hungrybox, and people were just hanging out and stuff.
As like a precursor, we were in the Friendlies room because Top 8 was like very interesting to us. We all just kind of hung out amongst ourselves and played Friendlies rather than watch like SFAT HBox or like PewPew HBox or anything HBox.
The best part about it.
And so we walked into the ballroom after like everyone's popping up, and we just go to see like what all the fuss is about or whatever. And then there's a water cooler. We chill there. And then we get approached by probably the most mystical man I've ever met. He's so majestic the way he just approached himself. Because
he was so fearless.
Had the balls.
He was so
we were
fearless.
in a group of like 4 people, like all very, like evidently we knew each other, and he just included himself. He walked right up as if he'd been friends with us for years, like since elementary school. And he just turns to us. He's like, "That was amazing," and we were like, "Yeah." I mean. As Fabby HBox.
Yeah, we didn't watch it, but we're like, we're on board. Like, yeah, that was crazy, probably.
Yeah, probably. It was probably like 3-2. HBox just forgot to count how many jumps he had and just fell off the stage.
Yeah, for all we knew, we had no idea.
That was some gray melee right there.
But it was like, from what we understood, it was pretty convincing. And I later went back and watched the VODs, and it was very convincing. Like, shout out to SFAT for finally conquering his demon, like in a convincing fashion.
It was so convincing. He got HBox fired from his job.
Jesus Christ.
fucking bodied.
Laid off.
Later, nerd. But this guy, he comes up.
God.
This unicorn of a man. He's like, that was amazing. Like, yeah, he's like, I orgasmed in my pants.
He said that?
Yeah.
Word for word.
Yeah. And like, it was at this point, it's like very obvious that he was like trying to like open with a joke, right? He was just trying to crack the ice with a young jokerino. And
then Anthony just goes,
the delivery. Sick. Yeah. I was like, sick, dude. and what I like to do in these situations is, because he kind of came out with a shocker, right? And shockers, you have to one-up them and see how far they're willing to go. So I was like, what did I say? I said something like,
can I slurp it up, dude?
No, it was more like, oh yeah, dude, my pant legs are filled with sperm or something like that. I forgot exactly, but it was something that was like trying to one up him and be like, all right, where are you gonna take this, buddy? And what did he say after that?
No, and then okay, so this man is of Asian descent, and then he goes,
oh my god,
it's a good thing Asian guys don't have penises, am I right?
Yeah, he was like, that would be me, but I'm Asian and Asians don't have penises, so oh well. And we're like, wow.
everyone is just baffled, and this guy is not really into it whatsoever. He's like, fucking nailed it. Like in his head, like I just, before this conversation happened, I just imagined the hamster running like 1,000,000 miles per minute on the wheel.
He's just sitting there, just like
he's like, oh, come on, come, fucking, I came, dude. Oh my god, that's what I have to say.
He's sitting there reveling in his joke as everyone's just silent and staring at him.
And I wasn't, it's like, we've all played Melee. We've all been sort of discriminated against for being nerds sometime in our life. It had to be, right? I know I have been. So I'm not the kind of guy who's like gonna sit and be like, wow, fucker, or something like that. I just said, wow. Like, I was half excited but half surprised. Like, I was trying to be sort of encouraging to him.
You're like, wow,
like,
what the
this
fuck?
isn't the right thing to say, but I'm not going to chastise you for it, because who am I, right? And then he did the beautiful thing that happens a lot, where you kind of just stand there and walk away.
Oh, no.
We all had our
Oh, no.
We all had our water in our hands, just sipping ever so nonchalant, as if we were,
Have you ever done that? I've
being
done that
passive
before.
aggressive about his fact, and he just goes, "Well, see ya."
Yeah,
Just
that's what
walks
he
away.
said. He was like, well, see ya. Like, my job's done here. Like,
Yeah, on to the next group of folks.
So that was really funny, because when I was thinking about it later, I was like, imagine that was just one interaction between 4 or 5 people, and imagine all of the interactions that were worse than that, or equally worse, or not as bad, but kind of, that happened this weekend in the swirling ether of cringe, like, beauty,
I don't know, man. That sounded pretty bad.
I know, but like, there had to be worse ones, especially if you're a top player. Imagine one of us is pew pew you.
They're all coming up to you.
What did they fucking say? Oh, you orgasmed. Hey, pew pew you. And it's like, it's twice as worse. It's like a multiplier.
Came in my pants to your Marth, dude.
And it's like, imagine being a top player and people are trying to like meme on you, or like whatever. And it's just really, I can only imagine all that happened.
Yeah, the worst part was this was right after the week of like both diss tracks from Chillin' Dude and Mike Hayes dropping.
Yeah.
So you know that everyone was like, "Nice shot, Hugo," and they saw like hugs in like the bathroom or something.
There was actually, I mean, that shit permeates through too. I was at Mayhem once, and Hugo was playing like he was like playing against Daryl. They were like having friendlies before the tournament started, and this dude was sitting behind them while they're playing friendlies, just watching, waiting for Hugo to miss a charge shot so he could yell, "Nice shot, Hugo." Like, he was like, just, his fists were balled, like, with anticipation, like, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be sick. And then he did it, and Hugo just kind of like turns and like winces, like,
How do you not have the social awareness to be like, this is going to be the most fucking lame thing that many people have witnessed in the weekend?
Yeah,
they're going to remember me and go and tell stories on their stupid little fucking podcast,
right?
And make fun of me for it.
And like, and it also devalues Hugo as a person. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, he's just some stupid meme that I can holler and shriek at, And yeah, so that was an instance, which is really funny because Neeper, you were just talking about like, I wonder if that guy did the same thing. Like, he's like, oh, because Zeke's girlfriend was there too. So there's like a girl in the mix, right? So it sort of changes that dynamic as well. So I wonder if he was like, oh, look at this group of like cool looking people, right?
And they have a girl.
Yeah, and they have a girl. It's like, we're just normal dipshit assholes like everyone else. And he's like, okay, oh shit, I'll just say, hey, that was a cool game, right? No, open with a joke. What's really funny? Cum's funny. I love cum. and he just cracks us with that, dude. And it's really interesting just to think about those thought process and those situations. If we were having a podcast after this, which I can't guarantee, folks, I would infer to send us your cringe stories from nationals or whatever, because those are always really funny to read.
That's a lot of the big issue that I have with approaching people. I usually think like, okay, you gotta approach with humor in some degree, and then you think about it, you're like, that might not be funny. I mean, I could do it with like friends, because who the fuck cares if you're just like not funny once, but
right. Well, with me, there's a check mark list, and you get strikes, and if you're not funny enough times, I cut you out, like Dylan. No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't why. You're talking about approaching with a joke to strangers.
You want to at least like try and make them laugh, but I end up getting stuck in my own head thinking about like, what would actually be funny? Would this be like topical? Like, if something like just happened,
is
can
it
I make a
too
comment?
topical? Is it not topical? Is it too far removed from their context, their frame of references? There's a lot to think about.
Can you like jab into a conversation really quickly without like interrupting someone and being like,
and maybe like wave that shot shield out if it's too hairy.
miss the timing, you just get fucking forward smash back to your desk.
This is the things that Neeper deals with on a daily basis with the social anxiety, and again, it's ridiculous because of how handsome he is.
No,
holy crap. You have no idea. When he got Tinder, I was like, "Bro, let me Tinder for you." And it was an all-you-can Tinder buffet. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm just saying.
I like CS:GO Surf Girl.
Well, that's good.
I like CS:GO Surf.
I'm glad.
And on a lighter note,
Yeah, he's afraid she'll listen and be like, "Fucking Tinder? What? We're never playing Surf again, dude."
Oh yeah, no, she's
the
gonna
bad
listen.
melee, dating column is coming next month.
But what
Yeah,
else? What
make a
else
note.
happened at Big House? I'm trying to think. Did you have any interactions that were outside of us just gooning out?
No, dude, I literally spent probably 23 hours a day just with you. 7 hours in my room.
It was a match made in heaven.
It was pretty sick, actually. I think that was the most time we've ever spent like together.
Ever, yeah.
Were there any good matches you
Yeah.
actually watched?
No.
You just played Melee.
Were
Like,
there any good matches?
That's the lie.
I didn't
What?
watch any. Did you watch any matches, Zeke?
No, okay, so that's something that I wanted to say too. Like, Big House is easily the tournament where I've played the least, but I think hanging out with, because I went into it with the philosophy that like I could always rewatch the matches. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
of
here
course.
to experience them live, but I was there to like see people that I hadn't seen in a while or like play different people. So I actually did not watch like any really good matches that went under the radar or anything.
Yeah, I didn't either. And it's funny because we're not the only people that do that, because in top 8, when it was Mango Armada and I was in the Friendlies room, there was
What?
a TV that was...
You actually didn't even watch top 8?
Well, there was a TV with the setup that I was on for like 5 hours straight.
You're a fiend.
And there was a projector that had the top 8 stream on, even though it was like down the hall, right?
Yeah.
But so we were just playing Melee and watching top 8 there. When Mango and Armada were playing, SFAT rolled in, Pew Pew rolled in. It was like a bunch of NorCal, Phil, Shroom. They all like came and sat down. Half of them were super drunk, and they didn't care either, right? Like they were doubles money matching people. Like they weren't watching grand finals, presumably because the VODs are just there. And I think that's a really key component that we don't think about, that changes like the sort of itinerary of people that go to tournaments, even like pro players that would want to watch Armada Mango because they just watch fucking VOD. Imagine if there were no VODs.
But-
You think anybody would be that goddamn friendly room?
Why go to concerts then? Why would you go to a concert?
I don't know, man.
It's
It
for
was-
the experience.
I
Like,
just wanted to play
You don't
Melee.
necessarily have to watch like top
I'm-
64.
I'm not
or
saying
anything,
watching
but-
matches is bad, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying we all wanted to play Melee more, which was interesting, right?
Yeah, it's
So-
a great game. It's a great video game, honestly.
I think a lot of the like person-to-person interaction that I had, especially with like the top players, was definitely after grand finals. Everyone flooded from the ballroom, which is like huge. The fire department capacity thing was like, what did it say, like 1,200 or something? We definitely packed like
Yeah,
2,500.
we
people in
broke
that
the
bitch.
code, that's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely broke fire code. But everyone flooded right afterwards, like into the lobby, and we actually got kicked out of the lobby by like management and shit.
Yeah, it was because it was too lit. There was pizza.
He was like, it's too loud.
Mike
Everyone
Hayes was
needs
just
to leave
screaming
now."
at people, hugging people. Chillin was getting
Yeah, Mike
hugs
Hayes
from
was
people.
But like, I saw Drugged Fox and we talked for a little bit. I'm sure he doesn't remember any of it because he was really drunk as well. We took a shot to Marth Punish Game, which was sick. Definitely like one of the sickest things I've ever toasted in my life.
To Mark's punish game.
Yeah, he was like, "What is this shot to?" And I was just like, "To Marth Punish Game." He's like, "Fuck yeah!" And that's what he shot. It was sick. But Nick M. Whittier was like,
Oh my
okay,
god,
so
dude. He was
at
shit
last year's
faced.
Big House. Yeah, last year's Big House, my flight left at 5 or 6 a.m. So I was like, what's the point of even going to sleep? We'll just hang out in the lobby. And like when we were in the lobby, it was me, Blue Jay, the Crimson Blur, and Armada just like all hanging out on a couch because like everyone else had gone to bed or whatever. And that was like some of the coolest interpersonal interactions I've seen within the Melee community. And then afterwards, like West Balls and Shroomed and NMW, and everyone kind of came out of the pool area because they were all swimming, but they were all also really hammered. And Nick M. Whittier this time, went for the repeat performance. He went for the back to back. And his hair was like soaking wet, and his face he was crying, like he was in tears. And everyone was like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "They kicked me out of the hot tub," and he like started crying because like they wouldn't let him in the hot tub.
I can
But
just
I'm sure
imagine
he
his
did
like a
that.
loud drawl of like, they kicked me out of the hot tub, dude. I just wanted to be in the hot tub.
He comes over to us of all people, and I'm just like, hey, NMW, because he's like a doubles god for those who don't know. And if you don't know, like you really should, because this is his one level of expertise in Melee. I was just like, hey, NMW, like I don't know how to play Marth in teams. Like who should I team with or whatever. And like you know when you're crying and like your voice just sounds like really wobbly.
You asked him this while he was crying.
Well, he was like recovering. He was on the. He was
getting over it.
Yeah, and he was just like, I think Marth can only team with Fox and Captain Falcon, and then he just walked away, like wiped his tears. And it was probably the most accurate representation of the Melee community I think I've ever gotten. Where it's just like you want real life aspirations, but Melee is just too big of a role in your life, so you just have to sit there and kind of suck it up.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's like he wanted something that wasn't Melee, and he didn't get it, so he just fell back to what he knew. He's like, doubles, okay, yeah, this is where I'm somebody. Like, he went to the pool, and, like, the guy kicked him out. He's like, do you know who I am? And he's just like, no. He's like, okay, and then just walked.
Do you know what I wrote? I wrote the doubles book, dude. He's like, look, you gotta go. Like, I don't want to call somebody. Come on, bro. Like,
dude, come on. I'm giving you a chance to go to your hotel room. He's like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
And as you walked away, you just shed a tear, and then someone was like, "Are you okay?" And that's when it all stopped.
Well, no, like when you're like that wasted, and all your defenses are down, and you're denied one thing that you wanted, even very minor, and it just reminds you of all the things that never came.
You're a mortal man.
and enter Nick M. Whittier.
He was like, this pool represents mother's love, and he just started crying.
Like, I can't have it. Yeah, lobby was lit. One of my roommates roommates. What the fuck do you call it? One of the people I was staying with actually snuck a CRT. Well, he didn't sneak it, but he took a CRT through TSA in his carry-on, and that was very ballsy and very cool actually, because it was nice to have a setup in the room. But if you were just a couple shades darker, bro, I don't think he would have made it to Big House. I was worried for him.
He's a ballsy man, for sure. He
stuffed that thing in there. The morning after Big House, rather, the TSA lines at the Detroit airport were actually, like, ridiculously fucking long. They were probably, like, an hour wait tops.
Holy shit. Mine was, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, like, we postponed, like, leaving as long as possible. We all took, like, a 1 hour, 2 hour nap. And our Uber driver drops us off, and we have an hour to make it through security and get on our plane before it, like, won't let anyone else board. We're like, oh, that's plenty of fucking time. Like, it's not even an international airport. It's just Detroit. And we get there, and they're like, yeah, it's about a 45-minute wait. So we were really pushing the fucking envelope. And so as we were in line for security, I was so nervous. I was like, this is the moment where I get randomly screened or whatever. This is the moment where...
This is the moment where your ambiguous whiteness washes away and people realize that you're Mexican.
It's like, sometimes when you're on the fence, they'll just opt more white, but not in airport security.
No.
You're Mexican. Yeah. But then I was like, oh, wait, I'm in Detroit. This is the one place where I'm actually not, like, the minority of choice for, like, blaming criminal offenses.
Right.
I fucking made it through TSA instantly. We got on our plane with 5 minutes to spare.
Oh, my God.
The clutches play.
On the Uber from the airport to the venue, when I got there, I shared one with Wrangler. Hold your applause. And he, for the driver, I just kept talking about, like, that we were going to a furry convention and, like, that this was our lifestyle. And, like, that I had a tiger suit and, like, that was who I was. Like, jazz for your soul. Like, this is my life. And he was like, oh, well, that's different. That's different. He was like this old white dude, someone's dad probably. And it's like, yeah, I just like to dress up and, engage my persona and engage others' personas. And he was like, oh, wow. All right, cool. So as quite accepting he was, the Midwest is usually really, really mean.
In his head, he's like, we need to fucking elect Trump right now.
Yeah, it's like, Trump will get the fucking tiger people out of my Uber. Get me fucking Coors and I go home.
Carry tiger people.
That's one of his new platforms. Grab the tiger people by the pussy. It was a good time.
Do you want to briefly touch on Tendies guy?
Tendies man. Well, okay, the funniest thing about Tendies man was that he was walking around with some Tendies that he just wasn't eating. And we invited him up to our room to eat pizza, and he was like this, he's this tall, nerdy dude, glasses, very, very very like nerdy, like this your kind of caricature archetype of a nerd person. Nice guy, and he was like, we were just like saying, hey man, so like, what'd you do this weekend? You party a little bit? You fucking get wild a little bit? And it's like, yeah, I actually I smoked loud for the first time. Oh, no. And we just died because like he was just talking about how the loud was and how good it was to finally smoke loud.
The best part was he was referring to it as if it was like this entity that was so far off. He's like, yeah, I finally found the loud.
Yeah, it was like a mystical,
as if it was a fucking like an Indiana Jones movie title where it's like fucking Tendies man in the chamber of the loud.
And what did they say? Because they were like, the guys he was with apparently they were ripping on him for smoking what?
Reggie.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah, he was
apparently,
like,
I've just been smoking Reggie all my life, but I finally got my hands on the loud. What?
He had this super nerdy demeanor. He's like, yeah, the guys that I've been smoking with, they didn't tell me it was Reggie the whole time, but now that I've discovered the loud,
oh my god,
everything makes sense.
And and we played What Are the Odds, which was a really fun game that Zeke taught us all, where you say, what are the odds you slap me in the face, and then you would say a number, like 10.
Yeah, like 1 in 5 or whatever. Yeah.
1 in 5.
And
1 in 10.
Someone else will count you down. And then be like 3, 2, 1, and then once the countdown goes, you'll say a number between 1 and 5, and the person who you challenge is a number between 1 and 5. And if you get the same number, you have to do whatever they challenge you to. And so naturally, in my like a little bit past almost drunk state, I was just like, "Hey, Tendies guy, what are the odds you show us your balls right now?"
He was like, "What?"
He was so taken back, as if I offended him or something. I was like, maybe I just want to see a nice pair. You know, if anything, it's a compliment. I assume that he's got a nice pair of balls.
Yeah, I mean that's why you asked him.
Yeah, and he was just like 1 in 10 trillion, like some unfun number. I guessed like 4. It was not close for those who care. I felt like I had him on the ropes though with my 4 pick.
Yeah. Okay.
So naturally, we just go around the room and we're just like, "Hey, what are the odds you show us your balls?" As men do at like 4 a.m.
Why is he Tendies man?
Because he just walked around with this styrofoam thing full of chicken tenders that he was just not eating.
It was on Anthony's Snapchat story. I saw him and I was just like, "What do you have in the box?" He's like, some chicken tenders.
And I was like, "Crack the box, baby. Just let me smell it a little bit."
Let me see. He's like, "No." And so I just kept asking him to see his tendies. And he's like, "What are those?" And so I just kept calling. He gave us his real name multiple times, so I just opted to keep calling him Tendies.
Yeah, his title, if you will.
His official precursor to his actual name, like Tendies Man, Daniel Blank.
It's a pretty nice way to.
Tendies Islands, yeah.
He was a cool guy, and I bet he could also shit on us all in Melee because he said he was like the second best Falcon in some state or city, so that was cool. So yeah, shout out to Tendies Man if you're out there listening.
Tendies Man might actually. I've plugged the podcast at 90% of my time.
Oh my god, that was so fucking annoying, dude. That was like actually the worst part of the trip. Every time me and Zeke would just be gooning around together, and someone would come up and talk to us, like someone we both knew, and he'd be like. He'd stop the conversation and point to me and be like, "Did you know this man runs the most successful Melee podcast?" Every fucking time. And it's like, for one, it's...
We were like on our Friendly setup together, and it was like 3 a.m. No one was trying to hear our shit, so Falco was just trying to get his dick wet. And he was just like, in the middle of like pillar comboing, I was just like, "You can't combo this man like that." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "He runs the most successful Melee. He will ruin your life."
It was so embarrassing, dude. It was like your mom going around talking about how good of a drawer you are when you just when you suck ass at it.
Do you want him to draw your picture right now?
Yeah, he'll do it. Come here. So as a counter to that, I started going, "Did you know this is the legendary indie who beat King Quiggles, who is an honorable mention in Toronto?" And,
it's fucking Ontario. Get your
Ontario. That's right.
At least I plugged the right URL.
What was the deal with him? It was like he told you he had only been playing for a year, but the truth is, like his friends broke the news that he had been playing for like 5 years, which is kind of embarrassing.
So we're going to go on a very convoluted path back to like the beginning of the podcast. So I faced King Quiggles to like make it to winners finals. He's a Falco player from Ontario. He was decent. He was pretty okay. But like when we were waiting for our set, that's when you start to get to know your opponent. You're like, hey, what's your name? How do you play? How long have you been playing? He's like, yeah, my name's King Quiggles. I'm from Ontario. I play with like Nightmare and Kirby Kaze and all those guys. Blah blah blah. I've only been playing for like a little over a year, and I'm already an honorable mention on the PR. And I was like, oh shit, like this guy's got fucking a real repertoire to his name, And then I literally just hand him like the quickest 2-0. Granted, there were some SDs, but it's fucking Big House. We take those to the bank.
Yes.
And then afterwards, when I was trying to find practice for my day 2, I found a Samish player from Ontario, and I was like, "This is close enough to Peach. Just hold down on the C stick, and we'll fucking pretend it's Peach."
Same character,
I was playing him. Yeah, I was playing him in his room because, like we said, we couldn't find any CRTs open for practice. So we went to his room, and he was like, "How'd your pools go yesterday?" And I was like, "Oh, I faced like some guy from Ontario. His name is King Quiggles." He's like, "Oh yeah, that guy's been running the weeklies for like 4.5 years." And I was like, "Oh shit!" He told me he was been playing for like 1 year. He's like, "Nah, dude, Quiggles been around for a while."
Oh no!
And I was like, "Oh no, it's happening!" Like I caught him in the lie without him even being here. I got it from a direct source. Shout out to Dope, the Samus player, by the way. That guy is a homie from Ontario. We hung out a couple times during the week, and he offered to smoke a joint with me.
The Loud? Or the Reggie?
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I'm not finely attuned to either one, so it would have just all been beat. It would have all been the day.
It was funny when you told me that about King Quiggles. It made me cringe inside because I've done that in that I've been technically playing for 2 years, but a year of that was spent playing with one person, Scott, in just Marth Falco, some of the worst melee you'd ever see in your life. So I'd like to not count it. I like to say that didn't count, but it fucking does because I've been L canceling. So I was like, fuck, I do the same thing. I hope no one ever catches on. But cat's out of the bag, so.
Yeah, and it was just so funny because he was another one of those, like Beanwolf, where to my face he was like very courteous and stuff. And then after the match was over, he's like, "Yeah, your Martha was like decent at best, but it was mostly just like your brain dead tech traps that I was playing."
Oh no!
It takes some fucking balls to say that the person who beat you was bad. Like, fucking
yeah, and I was just like, "All right, man." Like he's like, "Yeah." Like I would go off stage and you would like counter at the ledge, and I was like, "What do you want? You want me to fucking go down there and like side B spike you to death or some shit?" Like I'm.
The fuck you want from me, dude?
Of course, I'm
Big House.
I'm edge guarding you.
He's like, and then I went off stage again, and then you countered at the ledge. And I was telling this story to Anthony for the first time, and as I'm telling it in like this mocking tone,
King shit,
Quiggles,
that's right.
walks right next to us in the hallway, and like I was like, "Oh, I'm fucking King Quiggles, check out my big balls and shit." And he was just like turns to like see who's talking. We make eye contact very briefly, and then he just like shakes his head and walks away.
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. That was like physical cringe.
Wait a second,
he's an asshole.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I felt really bad, but I was like, wait a second. I wasn't even like I was just quoting what he said in a mocking tone. If he hadn't said that, it would have been fine. I would have been quoting like, "Hey, I'm King Quiggles. I do charity work on the side. I work for the park. By the way, your Marth is godlike." But no, he was like, "Fuck Marth. Your Marth's super gay. Like all your edge guards are brain dead and blah blah blah." And I was like, "All right, fuck you then. I made it out of pool." I mean, he also made it out of pool. Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, he took me out. You know what's funny is if he would have beat you, which is he was seeded to do, we would have played, and I think this would have been a very different podcast. We would have played to continue to advance and bracket.
We would have had to team kill each other.
And that was that. I'm glad that didn't have to happen. I'm also sad that I lost, but it's just how it goes. But what's funny is I shouldn't have even played King Quiggles because the guy Vatu in my pool, the Falcon, he almost had me. It was game 3 of last stock, and he just wave landed to his death. He botched his wave land, or he botched his ledge dash, and he was really cool about it because I know that a person like Quiggles would be like, "Wow, I would have won if that didn't happen," right? But he was just like, "That happens sometimes." I was like, "Oh, fuck, bro." I was at like 100%, dude. He just had to hit me, and he was at 0, and like it. And then he's SD, and I was like, "Ooh, we take those." So, shout out to that guy for actually being a really cool sport in a really shitty situation. And sorry, but yeah, I guess I don't know. We can talk about actual les esports, les meme genre of the world. H-Box quit his job. I hope he regrets that. Zeke, did you ever see the VODs or what he was acting like when he was playing Armada? Like, is really...
I did. I just saw like a highlight video, but I didn't watch. Like,
why
all
was
the
he
VODs
being
themselves,
so
but he was,
weird?
like, he was very lazy.
He-
Like,
it wa-
very not lazy, but like almost.
Well, it's
Like,
like-
he
it's
was
like-
just like
He rolled on the stage.
Yeah, it's like he was drunk. He was like goofing and like being really weird, but like in this exaggerated sort of plastic sort of way that didn't feel genuine.
What-
like everything he does, actually.
What I think was when he lost to SFAT, he was like, okay, I can't take this tournament seriously anymore.
Right. Like,
And
yeah.
it's like,
He's
I
pre-dawning.
really gotta fucking show everyone I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, because he's a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like a bitch move, right? Instead of like holding the L, he was just like, I guess I don't care anymore. Maybe
then-
that's what happened. I don't know.
And then, like, I don't know, like, he ended up beating PPU in losers. Not totally unexpected, but like the entire time he's laughing at like shit that's happening. But like, I can't think of something more disrespectful
Yeah, it's a dick move.
than slapping their controller out of their hand. PPU doesn't get that many chances to like fight at HBox, and like at this point in time, he's laughing while everything's
Neeper's
happening.
biased. He's
No,
a
no, 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 I'm
mod
so
in
biased. No,
PPU's
just-
chat. We also play Counter-Strike with PPU sometimes, so he's got to be protected
No,
on
this
the podcast.
I would have said this with anyone, like with Shroom, with any of the top 8. But yeah, even he had a chance to prove himself, and he just got like fucked. And
Laughed
I mean,
at.
it didn't look like Kevin let it like tilt him at all. But man, he was just getting laughed at. And
He's getting laughed at.
he
It kind of
got
sucks.
he got his ass beat.
Speaking of top players, when I got four-stocked by Axe, and there was a lot of stories like about like how Axe is such a homie and he's like such a rad dude, which are all true because he's a really nice person. But my personal experience is like when I got four-stocked by him, I stood up and I wrapped up my controller and I was like, "Hey man, good luck in the tournament." And he turned to me with like the most sincere way a man has ever said words to me. He was like, "You too, man." Like, like he literally wished me to have good luck, and I was like, "Wow, it's so nice."
You're a beautiful human being
You're
too.
so nice. We don't deserve Axe, dude. All you have to do is be nice to me, and I like you.
He's doing better than Neeper.
Yeah, that's what I'm
talking to
saying. I'm not a very
girls.
hard person to please, but somehow King Quiggles and Beanwolf managed to fuck that up. Also, if anyone's listening, please go to your Twitter and just tweet "fuck Beanwolf." Just add
Fuck Beanwolf.
please. But don't tell him who it's from. Just make sure it's ambiguous. And when he gets like a surplus of tweets that are just like "fuck Beanwolf," he's like, "Yeah, man, fuck me." Like, he'll know. It'll all hit him. He's like, "This is about that Marth player, isn't it?"
That Inception shit.
Cool. Well, I guess that's all there is to talk about in the world, my dudes.
Covered esports,
We
all one segment.
we covered it all. We covered all the esports that there are.
Well, we touched on Hungrybox, and you had your one little say about it.
I just want to roast him until the end of time.
That's all you want to do is just roast him real quick. How do you think he's gonna do?
I don't
You think he's gonna do better?
care. I mean,
Is he gonna
he's
single-handedly
still,
kill
It's like-
Melee?
Sure. Puff is a fun matchup.
There's-
Let's ride.
Yeah.
There's
that
like
is.
no reason to. I don't know. There was no reason for it, in my opinion, because like he was already considered number one for like a good 3 or 4 months, which is like a pretty hefty reign considering he won Evo, which is like the biggest tournament of all time.
My beef with Hungrybox is that nothing he does ever seems like a genuine thing. It's always like at the like behest and the whim of like, will this make people like talk about me? That's just this weird feeling I get, and I don't think it's that far off, but then again, I don't know him, his personal character. But that's why every time when it's like, okay, I'm going to focus on my job now. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to focus on Melee. Welcome back, me. It's just like, dude, like, fucking get over yourself. Like, just fucking play the game.
Twitter's like
It kind of
that
ends
too.
up being
That's
like
true. Twitter enables that, and I don't like that either.
it kind of ends up being like the boy who cried wolf, where it's like everything you do is kind of like people are questioning whether or not it's for attention or not.
Yeah.
It like I don't know if you saw, but he ended up cheering for Mango at the end of the Big House.
Really?
Yeah, like you could see the VOD, you could see him like jump
Interesting.
up out of his seat and like scream and cheer when like Mango won. It's just I can't even trust that.
Right? Like, what was the agenda there? You know, that's what makes me think.
Like, what reason do you have to cheer for Mango?
And maybe the reason is that he's a well-rounded human being now, but I
Yeah.
doubt that,
But
right? And
it's
a
the
lot
boy
of
who
people
cried
doubt
wolf.
that. Yeah, exactly. But I had another $100 thing, but whatever. He's dumb. I don't care. But yeah, Look, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. Podcasting every week is kind of hard, and it's hard when people have jobs and school. It's even harder to write articles. Honk honk. But I'm not promising more episodes, but I'm not promising them either. And Neeper and Zeke are pretty cool and handsome lads. So at the very least, follow Neeper on Twitter at, what is it?
At Neeper.
Neeper with a K.
Yeah,
SSBM. He plays Fox. He does not play Falcon. Follow my dude Indy, Ezekiel, Pinocchio at... I don't fucking know it, dude. You gotta say it, dude.
It's just I told you. It's just at Indie SSBM. Very simple.
Indie SSBM.
I play
See,
SSBM.
you guys are got it all fucked up because when SSBM dies, you're gonna have this stupid tag on your Twitter.
Nah, it's okay.
And I'm gonna be cool.
Okay, right now I have 16 followers. I want to get that.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I want to get that.
Throw Neeper a follow. He's a funny dude, and he's handsome.
I want to get that hardy 20. That milestone right there.
That
Fuck yeah, dude.
double.
I'm gonna bump you up to 17 right now.
Oh, let's fucking ride.
Zeke,
You know, I'm feeling good about myself. 25 followers.
Oh, now you're getting a little greedy. How about you chill out a little bit? So yeah, if there are more podcasts to follow, this will be the crew. Maybe some more Claremont fucking goons. Who knows? But at this juncture in our lives, I can't promise you guys. But please do send us your cringe stories. And remember, it's about cheeky shenanigans. It's not about being cruel. We're all cringy at one point, so just send us your interactions, especially top player ones. Those are really funny. Until next time, I just want to end on this. Crimson Blur ate my ass at the big house, and now I'm sick. Thanks. Good night.